This is video number 44 for cello players, and in this video we're sort of going to be reading notes and putting fingers down, but not quite. I want you to open up to page number 7 in your book, and no, I've not lost my mind, I do really mean page number 7. What we're going to do is take some of our older songs and play them with the bow. And this is back at the moment in the book where you're not really reading notes because those little letters are still in there. So we're going to ease you into doing everything at once, okay? On top of that, these songs are kind of easy for you, right? These songs are pretty easy at this point in the book. So we're going to start with number 13, and we'll skip some of these in here, but I want you to start with number 13 in your book, and we're going to do some echoing first, but then we're going to start playing on that page. And guys, when you play this with your bow, I would not actually use the playback recording unless you go to Essential Elements Interactive and slow it down, because we need to still be going kind of slow with our bow. 60 is a great tempo to be going, and that's what we will do today. Start with 4 Gs. We're not going to be doing open Ds and open A echo anymore. It's going to start with fingers down. Do 4 Gs. Check your bow hold. Pinky's flat against the frog. Other fingers are touching the middle joint. The middle between your bridge and your fingerboard, but slightly closer to the fingerboard. Press it halfway. You can reach out and touch your string. 4 Gs. Echo me. Go. G, 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 G. 2 Gs, 2 F sharps. Go. G, G, F sharp, 2 Gs, 2 Es. Go. G, G, E, E. Now do 2 open Ds and 2 F sharps. D, D, F sharp, 2 Ds, 2 Gs. Go. Open D, D, G, G. Go to the A string and do high D, C sharp, high D, C sharp. And go. High D, C sharp, high D, C sharp. 2 high Ds, 2 Bs. Go. High D, B, B. Open A, then high D. A, high D, high D. Okay, now we're going to look at page number 7 in your book. And we are not going to do any of the repeats, okay? You may do those on your own, but if you do on some of them, you have to add a bow lift. And so we're not going to do that right now. Okay, so look at page number 13. I'm sorry, page number 7, number 13 in your book. And you're, like I said, you're sort of reading notes. We're going to have to be following along in music as well as putting fingers down, okay? 13, and 1, 2, 13, and go. Watch that music. Freeze doing the rest. Freeze. Freeze. Okay? If you feel like you need to try that again, go ahead, pause the video now and try that again. We're going to go ahead and move on. We're skipping 14, we're going to go on to 15. The reason you might need to do 13 again is because, again, it's the first time you've had to play with your bow, put your fingers down, and now we've added that whole thing of you having to follow along in music. That's just another thing to do. This is why music makes you smarter, because you've got to think of like 9,001 things at once. So, just another thing to add to it. If you need to try it slower, you can. Again, the metronome here is at 60. We're going on to number 15. No repeat again. 1, 2, 15, and go. G, F sharp, E. Freeze. Now E. Freeze. Okay? Now, pause the video and do it again if you feel like you need to, or rewind it and play it again with me. Going on to number 16. All right, this one's going to use all the notes on the D string. 16, G finger down, and red C, and go. Sharp. Yes, now you go start up bow there. one, I think 16 is pretty easy, to be honest with you, just because it's everything in order. It's kind of like a little mini D major scale, isn't it? Now, 17, you may remember when we learned this with plucking, measure 3 was the difficult one. That's going to be true this time too, because you're not repeating any notes in your bowing. So you might need to practice 17 more than just once, okay? 17. Ready, and go. G, E, freeze. Okay, take a moment to check your bow hold, see how that goes. Practice that again if you need to, if you feel like you should. If you messed up, you should. All right, practice not till you get it right though, practice till you can't get it wrong. Going on to number 18, no repeat, but you may remember the tricky part here is going from open D to G. So remember, as you're picking your fingers up, they're hovering above the string. Don't pick them up like this or you'll have a problem. You'll mess up. Okay, 18, G finger down, and ready, and go. G, F sharp, open D, back to G. Okay, now if you need to go slower, please do so. Absolutely do so. I would recommend, if you messed up at all, actually stopping the video, getting your own metronome out, and trying it like at 55. Okay? Now, once you think you're ready, we're going to move on to number 19, but I need you to get a pencil real quick. We need to get a pencil because we're going to add a bowing in here. Okay? So, on number 19, take your pencil out. And we are going to start down bow. So I want you to mark a down bow right there, just like that. And then at the beginning of the second line, I want you to mark down bow again, okay? Now to make this down bow happen, we have to do a bow lift at the end of the first line right there. So I need you to mark a bow lift sign right there. Now look how fast this bow lift's going to be. Look, you have one count to do a bow lift. Not only that, you only have one count, but you also have to go to the beginning of another line. The good news is this note is the same. It's still an F sharp, okay? So at least that's the same. At least you don't have to change fingers too. But one count to do a bow lift, to keep in time, and to get your eyeballs back over here. So we're going to take this one just a little bit slower on the metronome. We're going to do it like at 55. Now let's try 56. 56 should be slow enough, I think. However, if it's not for you, totally fine for you to practice it at a slower tempo. Here we go, number 19, F sharp fingers down. You've got those markings done in your book. If you haven't done it yet, pause the video and then join us again when you're ready. 19, ready for a down bow, F sharp fingers down, check your bow hold, and ready, and go. F sharp. Now freeze, now ease. Now F sharps and get ready, keep that bow moving, and lift, second line. Another F sharp. And rest, okay? Now, if you did bow lifts on more than one bow lift, that's too much. You need to have your bow totally frozen at the end of the second measure, at the end of the third measure, and only do a bow lift at the end of the first line, okay? I want us to try that one again together. 1, 2, 19, ready, and go. F sharp. F sharp. And freeze. Now up bow. And freeze. And lift. Rest. Okay? Now you might be thinking, but she said in that other video we should start down bow at the beginning of measures when we can. Well, we also have to figure that sometimes too many bow lifts can kind of mess up the song, all right, and kind of be distracting in the song. So yes, you could do a bow lift at the end of measure 2 and end of measure 3. We're not going to. That's going to be too many bow lifts. It's going to interrupt the song, increase the chance of you having a smackdown and all that kind of stuff. Now, why is it necessary to do at the end of the line? Well, think about this. Look at the first measure of the first line, the first measure of the second line. They're that exact same thing. We need to play them the same way. That's why we need to do a bow lift there. Just like on 52, how we did a repeat, and we need to play it the same way the second time. All right, let's go on to 20. Now you're going to still try to make your tunnel here. Might remember that. No repeat, of course. G finger down. We're going to still go slow. Red, C, and go. Make a tunnel. Rest, rest. If you wanted to do a repeat, do you see what you would have to do? Okay, we're not going to repeat on that right now, but if you want to play that with the repeat, you absolutely may. Just make sure you do a bow lift. Go on to Seminole Chant 21, and red, C, and go. Freeze, now up bow. Freeze. Now no repeat. Freeze at the end. Freeze. Again, if you wanted to do the repeat, you'd need to do a bow lift. So you can start down bow. Okay, now 22, you're going to need your pencil again. Because on 22, we are going to add a bow lift, and it's going to be in the same way that we did it on 19. So you're going to write a down bow at the beginning of the first line, a down bow at the beginning of the second line, so that's kind of faded. Down bow at the beginning of the first line, a down bow at the beginning of the second line, and then a bow lift right here above that rest at the end of the first line. All right? Now this one's going to be a little trickier. It's got a little arpeggio in it. I don't know if you remember that, but it's got a little arpeggio in it at the end of the line. We're going to be bowing the arpeggio on this. Okay, so prepare your F sharp, make your tunnel, and 22, and go. Rest and up bow. We're just going to go up a scale. Make a tunnel. And keep it going for bow lift. Bow lift. And freeze. Now up bow. And here comes that arpeggio. Rest, rest, rest. Okay? Most likely for most of you, that one's going to need another go round at practice. Okay? Remember, keep practicing, not till you get it right, but till you can't get it wrong.